from Southern Maryland's weather leader. This is a JB Weather Alert.
Hello and good evening. I am Forecaster John Bordash, still with you here in the GB Weather Center, now sitting after 7 o'clock, getting your 7:15, and continuing to track the threat of storms across the region we have through about midnight or 1 a.m. We've seen our first round of storms really push through our northern zones, affecting areas like DC, PG County, Anne Arundel County, even northern parts of Charles and Calvert counties. That's now pushed out over the eastern shore, but we have more storms developing across the region as our severe thunderstorm watch remains in effect for the entire region until 10 o'clock. Right now, we have storms beginning to push across the Potomac River here into western parts of Charles County. You can see that here, really pushing through Indian Head, Pittsburgh, Pomfret, La Plata. Let me slow this down to just the last half hour, and you can see that these are now beginning to approach the 301 corridor. As these storms continue to push eastward, these will start to impact areas like Dennisville, Hughesville, just north of Mechanicsville into Golden Beach, and potentially on up towards Huntingtown and Prince Frederick here over the next, let's call it 20 to 25 minutes or so, as these storms continue to push eastward with heavy rain and lightning. But this storm is not currently severe. My attention then turns back to the west here. We have very electric storms producing very heavy rain, and these have been ongoing across parts of Culpeper County, Fauquier County, on over towards Rappahannock and Madison counties. You can see on the lightning, you can see a decent sized severe thunderstorm warning shown there by the orange polygon. And all of this, if I'll loop this radar too, is slowly moving to the east-southeast, and this should begin to move into our region after about sunset. So I think almost everyone remains under the threat to see rain, showers, storms, some that could be strong to severe. Even if you've seen very little so far today, I know our southern zones across much of St. Mary's County, much of Calvert County have yet to see much today, and I don't think that means that you won't see anything. Granted, not everyone will see storms this evening, but in the areas that have yet to see storms, you still have ample storm energy present in your atmosphere. So that means that there's going to be plenty of juice for these storms to potentially try to tack into as they start to move to the east here. Coming on over here to a new update we just got in from the National Weather Service. They have now continued and have expanded the flood watch across our region. The areas there are shown in green, so that's really DC points south. This includes all of southern Maryland, includes King George County, Virginia, and extends back through parts of central Virginia. This goes until midnight tonight, and this is because we continue to look at thunderstorms develop along the same area and continue to push from west to east. That means that we're going to be looking at thunderstorms that are training across the same regions, and they could drop upwards of 1 to 2 inches of rain pretty quickly, or even locally higher amounts if you're able to see multiple storms move over the same area. So I think the areas that are going to be the most prone for these flooding issues are going to be across PG and Anne Arundel counties, where we've already seen the heavy rain. And then also our southern zones, where you saw the heavy rain this weekend. Areas across St. Mary's County quickly picking up those 5 inches worth of rain in just about 3 hours. What was that, Saturday morning? And so you're also looking at a heightened flood threat. As we move through the evening, damaging winds, that risk is beginning to get a little lower as we approach sunset. We're losing peak heating. We're losing the highest amounts of storm energy. But the threat of seeing storms potentially pack winds upwards of 55 60, 65 miles per hour, it's still very much present, especially in those areas that have yet to see those storms push on through. And I think that flash flooding threat is really going to be what takes hold across our region as we head throughout the night tonight. Showing you Futurecast here. This was rendered just a little bit ago, and that wanted to pop off. I'm not sure why. You can see what Futurecast does here is it takes those storms and continues to push them across the same region, showing several rounds of rain potentially moving through. And they might not move through right now, or they might not move through at 8 or 9 o'clock, but it's possible that storms push through a little later as we head towards 10, 11, 12 o'clock, 1 o'clock, especially across our southernmost zones. I'm thinking like a Lexington Park. You might not see rain until 9 or 10 o'clock tonight, or maybe even closer to midnight. But when that rolls through, because you have so much untapped storm energy, you're going to be looking at rather high impacts if these storms are able to hold together and indeed continue to move to the east. Taking you back over here towards live William Richmond Dink radar, what we can see is that we have a decent storm really beginning to approach the 301 area on up towards Waldorf. This has just moved through Nanjemoy, Indian Head. You're beginning to see lighter rains now that the heaviest is off to your east, but this is now right up along 301. And if we track this out here, let's take our blob of rain here, we're moving this east at about 30 miles an hour. This gives you a general idea of storm timing. Of course, things could be different by a couple of minutes on either side, but generally heading towards Hughesville here in about the next 15 minutes or so, pushing into Sunderland and Prince Frederick right around 7:50, and then on over towards the beaches as we approach 8 o'clock. And you just saw some heavy rain push on through. Granted, the heaviest was to your north, but you still saw some decent rains. Let's take a look at how much rain we've seen so far across the region. Let me go ahead and turn some of these layers off to help get that together. Let me turn our warnings off quickly. So areas shaded in this green, those are areas that have seen generally under half an inch, generally under half an inch. Where you get the brighter greens, you're getting closer to an inch. But the area shaded in blue, that's where you've seen almost an inch of rain so far. So there have been parts in PG and Anne Arundel counties that have seen that. Again, many of our southern areas are sitting dry, but if you look back to the west here near Culpeper, Luray, Front Royal, these are spots that have seen 1, 2, even locally up to 3 inches of rain. And those storms that are sitting over that region right now, let's turn this off, you can see those storms are going to continue to push to the east here, and they're slowly doing so. But when they get here, they could drop a lot of rain. And coming back over here towards Futurecast, you can see how it times that out. Those storms back out towards Culpeper by about 9, 10, 11 o'clock. We see those move through, and then potentially another round of storms push through behind it. So stay weather aware. I'll be here in the Storm Center for the next few hours, continuing to track everything, giving you updates. Any new warnings get issued, any new updates come through, I'll be here with you live. I do want to stress that potential of flash flooding across the region. That would be why we have this flood watch in effect. This goes until midnight tonight, and it includes everybody. So even if you haven't seen rain so far today, that threat of seeing heavy rain push on through, the threat of seeing flooding, damaging winds, it continues. And then really one last check on radar here. You can see where we're looking at some of that heaviest rain, and everything's continuing to push east. You're seeing a decent amount of lightning getting towards Waldorf, and that'll be pushing into Calvert County here, northern Calvert County, over the next 20, 30, 35 minutes, with this entire conglomerate here of heavy rain pushing on over towards the east, potentially getting into our region as we get after 8 or 9 o'clock. So stay with JB Weather. I'll continue to keep you updated. Any new updates, I'll be back here with you live. You can always get updates on Facebook.com/JBWeatherLLC, Twitter at JB_weather, and then of course always on the website, the home base for all my content, jbweather.net, where you can access radar, Futurecast, and my live blog where I'm continuing to provide continuous updates. So stay safe, stay tuned, and I will continue to keep you updated on the latest. In the meantime, though, I'm Forecaster John Bordash. Thank you for joining me right now, and I continue to keep you updated on the latest.
Check the forecast anytime online at jbweather.net.